Alright. Hey, happy spring. So I know I don't really have a message to my channel. Mostly budgeting and taking care of my life, I guess. I'll be adding in some gardening stuff. Anyway, and every now and then probably some personal stuff, sans details. So I had something come up in my life, and it's really bothering me because, well, because it's not scary, but it's disheartening, I guess. It has to do with rape culture. And it isn't that men want to be rapists. I think that men... Sorry, I was watching watching a video and it finally loaded. Men oftentimes don't realize when they're imposing themselves in a woman's life or feeling of safety. So, women don't feel safe running at night. Why don't they feel safe running at night? Because there's this boogeyman without a face that may be out there. Women have to be careful what they wear when they go for runs. Not because of the boogeyman, but because of the eyeballs that are on the streets, or the whistles, or the... We're not allowed to be safe, just existing. Like, we have to keep layers on us and protections and monitor where we are and change our schedules and edit our lives in order to be safe from boogeyman, I guess. So I think I was in the military, and you're part of a team, even as a woman. But every now and then there are men who don't see you as being part of the same team. And I had a first-hand experience. Still had to work with the guy. Part of the military rape culture is that you don't report anything, because then you get a stigma as a woman reporting a sexual assault. That is worse than just dealing with it and being quiet, because when you're quiet you only have to deal with one person, but if you speak out you've got, thousands of people who are now calling you a witch hunter, whatever. So one of the things that a lot of women also have to deal with is that our families aren't safe either. It might be an inappropriate cousin, or it might be a dad that doesn't have boundaries and walks into bathrooms, and it might not be sexual in nature, but it still is invasive, and it still robs us of our security in being able to just be. I've had to install locks. I live on my family property, and I've had to install locks and monitor who has keys to my apartment because my boundaries were pushed. And it wasn't just entering my space. There was, like, a lot more stuff was going on, but, like, I should be able to feel safe at the place that I call home. and that's been taken away from me. So, as a message to women, stop the victim blaming, please. If a woman doesn't feel safe around somebody, just befriend them and suck them into your group and get them out of that situation, even if you don't know her name. Like, if you see the discomfort on their face, and I know, women, we pick up on cues that other people don't see existing. And we need to listen to our gut instincts, and when something feels off, we need to swoop in. Don't just be a bystander and point and laugh, because I hate to say it, but it probably has happened to you. You just have blocked it out. And it might be the guy standing too close in the subway line. It might be the dude who made an offhand comment while you were walking through a door. Anyway, so this is like weighing on my mind just because my space has been invaded by somebody who I should have been able to trust. And it wasn't just, there was nothing unintentional about it. This was definitely intentional, and it happened multiple times. And how often we pass things off as a one-off, when even a one-off is still invasive. And if a one-off turns into slightly different one-offs over and over again, that becomes pervasive. So invasive and pervasive, and it's time to stop blaming the victim. It's not their fault. It's not their fault that they work during the day and the only time they have to run is at night. It's not their fault that it's 900 degrees outside and they would like to be able to wear shorts when they go for a run. It's not their fault that they wanted to go out dancing and they wanted to wear a cute outfit that made them feel like they had energy and youth in them. And it's not their fault that some jerk on the side of the road whistles at them. And it's not their fault that men in their lives don't have boundaries. So it's not the victim's fault. I think that the perpetrator, not necessarily knowing that what they're doing is causing a problem, but we need to speak out and let them know that, hey, in this situation, this is not a good thing to do. Or, hey, your kids are getting older, you need to knock before you open a door. Or, unless you're fixing something, don't go into your tenant's space. And yeah, and it works for men and women. Both can be perpetrators and both can be victims. And I know I pointed out a lot of women victims and male perpetrators, but a big part of that is because that's what happened to me just this last week. And so it's pretty big on my brain, weighing on my mind, and yeah, we need to stop blaming the victims. We need to make sure that we help each other out and point out to potential perpetrators that what they're doing is not good. It's not okay. And yeah, you might have only done it this once, but how about if you learn from it and don't do it again? Because men pushing themselves into our boundaries, or women pushing themselves into our boundaries. I mean, I've had bi women push themselves on me too, and that wasn't any more comfortable than when a dude does it. I mean, it's my bubble. I get to pick and choose who's in my bubble. Anyway, my washing machine's going crazy. But anyway, Time to stop the victim blaming. Help somebody out of a situation. And part of the rape culture is that we need to be aware of when what we're doing is causing problems for other people. And not letting things slide like we have. I mean, there's all of this stuff about the social justice warrior, blah, 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 making everything so uncomfortable. It's like, nah. People are bringing stuff to the forefront. We're trying to fix our society. And that's what's more important. So what? You're uncomfortable. How many people have you made uncomfortable? So what? You're uncomfortable. How many other people have been uncomfortable before you were uncomfortable? You know? And then to victimize the perpetrator is not where I'm going with this. I think that it's just time to educate ourselves and educate each other and be honest. Seriously, be honest that, hey, when you say these things, I get uncomfortable. And if the person doesn't respect the fact that you're having a negative reaction to what they're saying or doing, does that person need to be in your life? Or if somebody says that you make them uncomfortable a lot, then it might be best to just kind of remove yourself from their life for a little while. They might be going through something and you're triggering things whether you mean to or not. And sometimes just giving them space and then let them come back to you if they come back, you know, a friend or whatever. You're making dead baby jokes and they don't appreciate it or whatever. And don't force yourself on them. Let them decide. You're like, hey, I understand you're probably going through some stuff and my sense of humor is rubbing off on you wrong. I'll disappear for a little while. And if you want to hang out again, get a hold of me. Or if I see you in the bar, I'll say, hey, but I'm not going to force myself to sit by you. But you can totally come and sit by me. If you're in a headspace, that's okay. So, yeah, we just kind of need to make sure that we're looking out for each other. Giving each other space and being honest when our spaces are being invaded. Otherwise, we're going to have to lock doors and everybody will be wearing hijabs and hijabs. See? There goes my American. These hijabs. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. There's no reason why everybody should be offended by other people being offended. Just grow up and get over it. Take the advice that you keep telling the other people. Just grow up and get over it. It's not that big of a deal. It's like, yeah, if they're saying something and you're gonna lose your crap at them, then get over it. It's not that big of a deal. If you don't like that person telling you not to do something, get away from that person. I don't know. It's two-way streets. Everybody's gonna have a complaint. Everybody's gonna have a gripe. That's why we were given the gift of communication. We just need to talk to each other and let everybody know. You know, not everybody, but yeah, because I'm going to post this on Facebook, which is anybody who wants to see it will see it. But, yeah, just kind of be aware. Don't take offense when somebody tells you that something that you say or do makes them uncomfortable. Just say, oh, I didn't realize. Thank you for pointing that out to me. Can you make sure that you tell me when I cross the line? Or would you prefer that you need more space? And I hate to say it, but you being honest like that will win a lot of points with somebody who's going through a victim moment in their life. Being okay with walking away. It might be somebody that you're dating and they're just having a rough time. You say, hey, I see that you're going through a rough time. I'm here for you. but I'm going to give you space until you're ready to have me around more often. And let me know, and please be honest about your boundaries. And if all you want to do is sit on the couch and watch Netflix, make sure that you tell me that that's all that you want to do, so that I won't push your boundaries and you can rebuild your trust with the world. Anyway, alright, this is like a 16-minute long video already. And I'm red because I'm flustered. Anyway. So, victim blaming, we need to stop doing it. Support the victims. Perpetrators aren't necessarily bad people. They just don't realize that what they said or did or do causes problems for other people. And communication. And if communication doesn't fix it, then maybe the person needs to be in jail. No, I'm joking. But honestly, there should be repercussions if they push the boundaries too hard. Not necessarily jail, but, you know. Be honest. If you feel like you're being victimized, tell the person that they need to stop. I know this is not the same for rape. This is more for emotional abuse. And when people are just stepping on your toes. Yeah, just be honest with them. If you find yourself not being able to be honest with them, then yeah, it sucks, but remove yourself from the situation until you can, or find a third party, like not an authority figure maybe, but just be like, hey, so-and-so's having problems, I'm here to be a third party, whatever. But anyway, communication, it'll fix us. Now I'm at a 17-minute video, because a lot of people who do dumb things, like you look at people with Asperger's and autism spectrum, they don't realize that what they think is funny is considered invasive on another person. Like, they don't get social cues, and I know I miss a lot of social cues, and I really appreciate when people like, hey, you're stepping out of line, and I was like, really? Huh, okay. Can you point it out to me again when I do it? And they say, sure. I say, all right, thank you. I just need to know that when I'm feeling this certain way and saying these certain things, that it's not appropriate. But, now I'm at an 18-minute video. Yeah, just tell people. And if you're not comfortable telling the person who's in your bubble and pushing your boundaries, tell somebody else that they trust, that, hey, this person's pushing my boundaries and I'm not comfortable talking to them. Is there any way that you can help out in these situations, and just say, hey, you're being inappropriate, or hey, you know, like, find some allies, I guess, is the thing. Some neutral allies. What is that, Switzerland? Somebody who's Switzerland in your friendship that can help you communicate with each other. But anyway, yeah. So, don't suffer and be a victim suffering, and don't push yourself on people. If somebody says that they've got a problem with something that's going on, back off. And communicate, and find ways of communicating, and find some Switzerlands. All right. 19 minutes. All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy spring. Cheers.